said this game would get mad.
Welcome to Atlantic 10 College Basketball, presented by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. It's a non-conference showdown on tap this Saturday afternoon as we welcome you to Dayton, Ohio and UD Arena as the Flyers play host to the Liberty Flames as these two teams are meeting for the very first time. So glad you could join us. Steve Burkowski alongside my partner Tim McCormick. Two teams that go about their job and business on the court in two very different ways, Tim.
Steve, this is a fun matchup here today. Hostile environment. There's not an empty seat in this building. And here's the storyline. Here's the headline. Dayton brings the heat on defense. Top 10 in all of college basketball in forcing turnovers. On the other side, Liberty really good with ball security. They're top 10 in fewest turnovers. Here's the only question that matters in this game. Does Liberty look composed versus the Heat?
It is the 85th consecutive sellout here at UD Arena. What matchup jumps off the sheet to you to keep our eye on today?
Well, we've got 2 point guards that are seniors, and they wear number 0, and they're the catalyst for their teams. Let's talk a little bit about Colin Porter for the Flames. A senior sensation, just a terrific passer, prototype old school setup man, a 4-year starter, and he can knock down shots from inside and out. Keep an eye on his hamstring, and on the other side for the Flyers, Javon Bennett, an all-conference standout, a do-it-all point guard, dynamic playmaker for sure with deep brain. As a senior, this is his team, and he's been outstanding. 16 points per game and a quick trigger from 3.
Dayton comes into this one 9-3 on the season, led by their head coach Anthony Grant in his 9th season at his alma mater. This place is rocking. They're hoping it's going to get louder today. Richie McKay, the head coach from Liberty, he hopes to quiet things down in here just a bit in his second stint leading the Flames. 13 years overall leading Liberty as we take a look at the starting lineup presented by Farmers Insurance. And Liberty, boy, they've got one guy in particular that can shoot it from long range.
I think you're talking about Brett Decker. What a massive success story. 4 points per game as a freshman, 18 as a sophomore.
And for Dayton, who else jumps out to you?
Well, Deshane Montgomery has some star power on the wing. So good in the Flyers press.
Lamar Simpson, Tim Kelly, Ron Taberski, the officials in charge as Dayton has won 33 consecutive non-conference games here at UD Arena. They're looking to make it 34, and the way they played against Florida State a few days ago, Tim, Liberty might have their hands full today. Going to be fun to watch.
They blew out Florida State by 28 points. Get this number, 40 for 47 from the free throw line. They had 6 in double figures.
Dayton with the opening tap. Bennett across the half-court stripe.
Offensively, the big advantage is Letang inside. He's 7'1". This is one of the smallest teams, talking about Liberty, in all of college basketball. And the beauty of that bucket, Steve, it allows them to set up their press.
Amael Letang missed the short one, put the second one back in early 2-0 lead for Dayton. A big size advantage, 7'1", the sophomore from France. Porter, now the guy you talked about off the top, gets things going for the Flames. What a nice move there by Decker, the running one-hander off the glass. We talked about his three-point shooting. He can also convert on those shorter ones as well. Tied up at 2, 1 minute in.
Offensively, a lot to like for Dayton. Skilled guards, they pass so well. And I believe that when you're looking at go-to guys, Bennett and Montgomery really share job well. Both right around 15 points per game.
Liberty was hoping for a traveling call. The official saw a reach-in foul. So Dayton will keep it underneath. First foul of the game so far today. Durkak thought about it, goes hard to the hole, lays it up, misses it. Second effort on the floor. Kicks it up to Latong from long range. Got it. Showing some range, the big man.
The question I ask, does Liberty look composed? The answer is no on the defensive end.
How about Matheny? Gets it rejected off the glass. Wonderful defensive play there by the Flyers. Quickly into the front court. Dayton has it. They've got the lead. 5-2, 90 seconds in.
No deception for Dayton. Drive to the paint. They have a huge size difference in the middle.
Montgomery out of control there. Liberty looking to run. It's going to be fun to watch them. That is the spot for Decker. He loves the right corner.
But not the left corner. Isn't that interesting?
We'll get into those numbers a little bit later in the show. Bennett thought about returning the favor. Another rebound by Zach Cleveland, the 6'7" senior for Liberty, who's averaging 9 points a game, nearly 9 rebounds a game, and third in the country in assists at 8 a contest. And a tying roll there, Cleveland gets it to go. And it's the composure you talked about that Liberty didn't have against NC State earlier this month.
Well, they were blown out by 40 points, and that was a little bit of a wake-up call. Colin Porter has a bad hamstring. It's getting better, but you wonder if that affected him in that contest.
Shot clock at 10. Durkak on the right wing. Cut off baseline. Shot clock now down to 5. Durkak still with it. Fouled on the way up by Brett Decker Jr. Durkak isn't afraid to throw the body at you, right? You come from New Jersey where you played your high school ball, you're going to get physical.
Well, he's a wonderful success story, and Durkak lives at the free throw line, draws an average of 5 fouls per game. And if you look back at his story, a late bloomer, only 6 foot tall as a senior, he still felt like he was going to get interest from colleges, but it just didn't happen. So he went to prep school, grew 6 inches, put on 35 pounds, and the nice thing, because he was so small when he was young, he developed point guard skills, which serve him really well today.
And he makes both there from the line. He was also a first-team All-State soccer player. We said, why not soccer? He said, I love basketball.
Interesting offense for the Liberty Flames. They don't run standard motion. They don't have set plays. Coach Richie McKay told us they like concepts more than plays.
And for a moment, you had Latong at 7'1", guarding Porter at 5'10". Long-range 3 by Matheny, gets it to go. Game tied up at 7. And it was something Anthony Grant, the head coach from Dayton, shared with us yesterday. Concerned about this is a team that does things very differently. How will his squad adjust?
Well, they're so aggressive defensively, and I do believe that they're going to try to switch their pick and rolls 1 through 5.
Turnover by the Flames. Durkak across the half-court stripe. Up top, Latong thinks about it, shoots it, converts yet again. We thought he had a size advantage. He's saying, let's go. I'll take it from 22 feet.
He's got a Wemby approach, right? Young kid growing up in France. He was friends with Wemby, spent time with him, and certainly mirroring some of those perimeter skills.
10-7, Dayton up by 3, just over 4 minutes into this one. Decker thought about it. So that's twice today as he lays it up and in. They're guarding him to shut off the 3, and he's adjusting. Bennett gets it swatted, and that goes off. Last touch, Liberty. Cleveland with the block. We've had a fast pace out of the gates. Dayton and Liberty, the back and forth battle continues. Latong, though, showing the range. Quick start for Amael Latong. 3 of 4 from the field, 8 points leading the way for the Dayton Flyers. They've got a 1-point lead. What do you think we've seen and will continue to see from them offensively.
Well, Letang has such a massive advantage inside. So what they're doing, they run a screen off of him. Okay, he's able to get downhill. There's a shooter in the corner, but the whole idea is to exploit that advantage. One thing you're going to learn from Letang, when he becomes a better screener, he will get a lot of work done inside. Nice back cut. There's no size at all. Out of 365 teams in college basketball, Liberty is ranked 363. Only 2 teams that are smaller. So that means Letang is going to get a lot of opportunities in the paint.
Some substitutions at that timeout. One of the new faces on the floor for Dayton, Sean Porday, the 6'2" freshman from Belgium. His very first start, he's only been on campus for a couple of weeks. We're intrigued to see what he can maybe add to this Flyer squad.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Bennett play more off the ball, like right there.
To free him up to make shots like that.
Well, Porday is more of a pass-first point guard. 2 weeks ago, he was playing professionally in Belgium.
Yeah, the BNXT League in Belgium, 12-9. Dayton with the 3-point lead. Cleveland, little hesitation move. They're going to say fouled on the way up. Looks like Javon Bennett going to be called for that one, and he is. Zach Cleveland, the guy that kind of does it all. Sort of the engine and every facet of the game. Fair?
He's so unique and valuable, and the numbers tell the story. Remember, he's their center, 6'7", 9 points per game. Listen to these, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. That's so impressive. And his versatility comes back from when he was playing for his mom at Grafton Elementary School. His mom is Marla. She coached the team, and she made her son the point guard. That's the reason his ball handling skills are an immaculate advantage for him when he's going up against other big guys.
But he has struggled from the line this year. About 37%, makes 1 of 2 there. Liberty back within 2.
My mom didn't make me a point guard. What's going on with that?
Maybe Marla saw something that might help her son Zach down the road. There's Porday looking to go baseline. Gets it down low to Malcolm Thomas, who loses it momentarily. Dayton able to hang on to. There's Keontae Jones, too strong with that one. Liberty clears.
Yeah, I really like the Liberty offense, and here's why. They move the ball, low turnovers, great spacing, and the best thing they do is 3-point shooting.
Cleveland backing down the defender. Porday lays it up and in with the left hand. 12-12, this one's tied up.
Once again, remember, when Bennett plays with Porday, the lane is going to be wide open, Steve.
Bryce Hurd stripped on the way up by J.J. Harper, so a turnover by the Flyers. As Porter has it in the front court to a cutting Cleveland. A little alley, too strong there by Josh Smith. A great sense there of how it's concepts. No real set play, but they went with what was there at that given moment. Jones looking to go baseline, cut off there. Long 3 by Bennett, got it. Javon Bennett falling away from the right wing, 15-12. Dayton up by 3.
I've really noticed a change defensively from Dayton. Remember, they got beat by Virginia, and they were running and jumping. They were really pressing the ball. Now it's more full court pressure. I really like that idea.
With Decker out, a concerted effort by Liberty to get the ball to Cleveland. Unable to get that one to fall. Bennett with it, working it around the perimeter. Dayton not afraid to shoot from long range, and why would they, as they continue to knock him down from behind that 3-point line. That was Bryce Hurd, 18-12, Dayton up by 6. And as you said, those made baskets can really set up their whole defensive scheme. Dayton 4 of 6 from behind the line. Liberty just 1 of 2 in the early going. Matheny cut off there on the baseline by Keontae Jones. Almost a travel there by J.J. Harper. Shot clock at 7. Matheny, how about that little move? Underneath, lays it up with the left hand, and it goes. Thought he was looking at us when he was going up with that left hand. There's Bourdais. See how he settles into the rhythm of this game. It's been the wild card. What will he bring to this college program? Oh, that is another wide open three. Too strong off the mark by Jones. Rebounded by Cleveland.
For those of you that are surprised about Liberty, remember, they are the Conference USA favorite this year, and they played in the NCAA last year as the conference champions. This is a really good program.
Skip past the Porter, looks to go baseline, shot clock at 10. A lot of movement by the Flames, shot clock at 3. What will Cleveland do? Turn around, well off the mark, rebounded by Keontae Jones.
Once again with Bourdais on the court, Bennett is becoming more of a shooting guard than a point.
Well off the mark from long range by Hurd. Cleveland thinking about pushing it. Numbers aren't there. Hands it off to Matheny, and they slow things down, at least for the moment. Boy, Cleveland, that's the second time he's been looking for that alley-oop. They're 0 for 2 on that one. Jones running, trying to draw contact. He does, and they're going to call a charge. The basket went. There was contact, there was a whistle. And a bit of disbelief by head coach Anthony Grant. We head to a good break. We'll sort it out when we return. Back at UD Arena, my man and partner Tim McCormick getting a lit'll sneak peek. What'd you hear over there in that Liberty huddle?
Really interesting, and a master class by Richie McKay. A lot of information covered during that timeout. He said that we've got to stay disciplined on the defensive end. We're going for shot fakes. If we do a better job of containing, contesting, and communicating, the 3 C's of defense, will be fine. Also, very important on the offensive end, just make the extra pass. Don't force action. I thought it was a really good timeout. Let's see the response.
And that foul before the break was on Keontae Jones, the disputed, if you will, at least at half court of the charging call that was given to Jones. So the basket didn't count. Dayton up by 4, 18-14. Liberty with the ball as we near the 11-minute mark remaining here in the first half of play. Nice backdoor cut. Porter to Xander Carter, who's into the game. The ball was blocked, and it got wedged in between the rim and backboard. Seldom seen, and they go to the possession arrow to deem that as it's a dead ball. Really good look here from Porter.
Remember, on the wedgie, it's always a jump ball play, so you go to the possession arrow.
Liberty maintains it. Matheny with it, right wing.
Is that the official term, the wedgie?
We're going with it. Why wouldn't we, right? Matheny high off the glass, doesn't go. Offensive rebounded to Decker. Hands off to Matheny. Front iron with that long-range jumper. No good. Durkak with the rebound.
Well, this is the time to get Letang involved offensively again. He got off to a quick start. Good drive inside by Durkak.
Durkak fouled on the way up. He'll head to the line. Xander Carter picking up the personal foul for Liberty. A little discussion saying, was that a little bit too much there by Durkak?
I'm not sure. It didn't look to me like Porter got hit hard enough for that response. You can really see the approach of Durkak, though, right? Everything is off the ball, get ball to rim.
And he talked about with us earlier this week, he'll do what it takes to win and keep everyone connected. So we take a look at the flagrant fouls for NCAA college basketball. Flagrant run, the personal foul for excessive or unnecessary contact. 2 shots awarded to the offended player. Flagrant 2, which I don't see this coming into play. Excessive, severe. I think it's just one of those the refs want to make sure they're going to do the right thing.
Yeah, and remember, the key term is excessive or unnecessary. And I think that Durkak was caught off guard. All of a sudden, somebody had his arm underneath. Let's find out.
Tim Kelly, one of the officials in charge, going to let us know. Overheard you and Tim. No flagrant foul, nothing there, correct?
No, and he said, you can't fool the referees. He said, we're on top of it today.
Yeah, he said in so many words, nothing to be seen there.
He thought there was a little bit of acting going on. I tend to agree.
But Durkak imposing his will. He's that guy that's going to roll up his sleeves, do the little things, and not afraid to get physical. So just the common foul on Xander Carter. Durkak will head to the line to shoot 2. 6'5" senior, Colonia, New Jersey. Played last year at Rutgers, one of the half dozen new faces from the portal for Dayton here this season.
Remember, Durkak played in high school with Bennett.
League One Volleyball, Love B, first serve Wednesday, January 7th at 6 p.m. on USA. And again, USA Sports proud to be bringing you the opening match of the season. January 7th, 6 p.m. then all season long, 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. The best of women's pro volleyball coming to USA Sports in prime time. Durkak connects on the second. The lead is now 6 for Dayton. They're up 20-14.
Dayton averages 81 points per game this year. Liberty averages 81 points per game. Steve, I'm anticipating a game right around 81, I think.
Will 81 be enough is the question.
You know, last year I was not impressed with Dayton's defense. I thought they took a step back. I consider their defense to be back. This is what I expect out of Anthony Grant coach teams.
Porter with it up top, shot clock at 8. Draws some contact, no foul there, going up against the bigger Jacob Connor. About a foot difference, Connor holding the ground there.
I think they're wasting opportunities. All of a sudden, Latang can be a force. There's nobody that can cover him near the hole.
That was a forceful finish by Latang. Now they had to go out and guard him on the 3, so he gives them a little fake and slams it home. Liberty 0 for their last 6, 1 for their last 10. Somehow, some way, need to get the ball in the hands of Decker. Well, that's 3 two-pointers by Brett Decker Jr. But what are they doing to slow down his success from behind the arc?
Well, let's talk about Latang first. And the most important thing I'm looking for him is to try to be a star. Don't be a role player. Attack the rim. He's all conference preseason, and I think that his screen game can get better, and I think he's capable of more on the boards, but I love the potential.
22-16, Dayton up by 6, 9-10 and counting here in the first half. Durkak has it right wing, Matheny with him. Durkak still with it. Boy, he earned that one, Tim. 24-16, the lead back up to 8 for the Flyers. Porter, nice little spin move, nothing there, resets it up top to Cleveland.
Decker is in the corner. Nobody is leaving him.
Porter thought about it. It's almost like Liberty's making one too many passes here, but the defensive numbers that have been the staple for Anthony Grant. He said it, you nailed it, Tim. It was the Achilles heel of this team last year, but a lot of the success they're having, it starts by forcing turnovers, making their opponents earn it.
Well, there's no deception. They're a defense first team, number 1 in steals, number 5 in block shots, and against Florida State, remember that's a Power 4 conference. They went 7 minutes in the first half without even getting a bucket.
Decker unable to convert from the left wing. Dayton with the 8-point lead and possession. There's that play you documented earlier, and that's kind of what they had. But it was the extra effort by Jones on the follow to finish the lead now 10.
I asked the question earlier. Does Liberty look composed against the size and tenacity of Dayton? And the answer is no.
26-16. Dayton by 10, 7:40 to go in the first half. That is a long-range three by Caden Matheny, but well in his range, and a much-needed bucket for the Flames. Shane Montgomery missing it from the corner. Flames with the rebound. Cleveland has it. Use that height advantage against Bennett. Going to see a lot of height advantages or disadvantages, but somehow they're trying to get Decker from long range. There he goes. Well off the mark there.
Off the backboard. Once again, the length in contesting shots is making it hard for the Flames to get an open look.
And sometimes it's just the hand in the face that can lower those percentages. Latong has his down low in the blocks, cleared out momentarily by J.J. Harper. Last touch by Harper. Dayton will maintain possession, hanging on to a 7-point lead on a Saturday at UD Arena. A10 basketball is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. Back at UD Arena, Dayton 26, Liberty 19. As before the break, the Flames got it a hoop they desperately needed, Tim.
But watch, they're trying to get the ball to Decker. He's not open. They're not leaving him. And what a luxury item to have Matheny out there. 6th year of college basketball, 3 at Bowling Green, 3 at Liberty, 340 career threes, just scored his 1,000th point, and he's their number 3, maybe number 4 option.
One of the best shooting teams from behind the arc, 4th in the country, is Liberty, 2 of 6 from the three-point line so far today, but only 1 turnover as Bennett launches it right wing and converts. The lead back up to 10, and the pressure once again on by the Flyers. So critical right on makes for them to dictate what they want to do defensively.
Yeah, but remember, they've switched since Virginia. There's the run and jump press that they did a lot earlier. I like the fact that Anthony Grant is mixing up the looks.
Cleveland has it up top. There's the 3rd time they tried to get it down to Smith. Saves it, but the foot on the line, a turnover by Liberty. What do they see in there that they're not executing on that play?
Well, it's making the extra pass. Remember, they're a really good cutting team, and it's almost like they're trying to become a driving team. What I look for Liberty is they will have more success with 5 pass possessions. Remember, they're not a driving team, they're a cutting team.
Nearing the 6-minute mark remaining here in the first half. Dayton by 10, 29-19. Montgomery has it up top, guarded by Decker. Montgomery, three-pointer, does everything but go. Porter with the rebound. Slowly into the front court for Liberty. Cleveland in the corner. Harper, three-pointer, front iron, no good. Look at the hustle by Cleveland. Get that extra possession. Oh, there's Decker wide open. And he finally gets one to go. Doesn't necessarily love the left side, but he's pretty good any way you cut it.
And keep an eye on Decker. When a guy is off, he makes that first one. It's fuel for his game. I would anticipate another 3 coming soon.
It's the first time he had a really good wide open look, and he made Dayton pay. Jay and Simon with the ball into the game a moment ago. Durkak now guarded by Decker. Shot clock at 3, down to 2. They're going to have to force it. Back iron too strong by Keontae Jones.
Here's the time for a 5-pass possession. And one of the things that Richie McKay does, we talked about they don't run sets, they run concepts. Well, it's harder to target a hot scorer when you're in that kind of an offense.
Porter thought about it, gets it to Decker, guarded by Durkak. Pull up 3, got it, 2 in a row. And just on cue, you said it, shooter shoots, they feel it once that first one goes. Decker now with 12, Liberty within 4.
Montgomery, really quiet so far. In some ways, he and Decker have been covering each other so hard, not a lot of options.
Whistle on the play, the foul called on number 12, Josh Smith.
Must have been really hard for Decker last year. You know, as a sophomore, he's had as big a jump as anybody in college basketball with his scoring ability. And when we talked to him earlier, he tries to move without the ball like Steph Curry. Take a look, the right corner is where he loves it, but why is it on the left side he's only 30%? I think it's much easier to square up from the right side if you're a right-hand shooter.
55.3% coming into this one from three-point land, leading the country. 4.2 threes a game. That also leads the nation now with 12 double figures in every game this season. Latong thought about it, cut off momentarily. Poor Day with a great look down low. Latong fouled on the way up, and there's the play you broke down earlier, Tim. Poor Day to Latong. Amael will head to the line to shoot two. When we come back to Dayton, the Flyers up 4. What a special Saturday it was a week ago. Obi Toppin, one of the all-time Flyer greats, back on campus, inducted into the Dayton Hall of Fame, and finally, Tim, received that Naismith National Player of the Year Award trophy. Between COVID and his busy NBA schedule, it was the first time he could get on campus. The fans loved it. Coming up on the Atlantic 10 halftime report, a deeper dive into the Dayton fan base. We'll also take a look around the entire Atlantic 10 and break down the first half of action here from Dayton. And you talk about trying to win here. Few have done it better in terms of holding home court than Dayton. Look where they rank in most home victories since 2019-2020.
How come he wins the national award in 2020? He just received the trophy this week.
He's a busy man. That
give
NBA
the man
schedule.
his trophy. You know, Obi had 190 dunks while he was in college at Dayton, and this is such a special environment. Remember, this place is sold out. The college students are not here. They had their finals last week. They still fill it regardless of students or not.
Passionate fan base. Latong converts on 1 of 2 from the line. He's got 11, 30-25. Dayton with the 5-point lead. Cleveland misses the short one, rebounded by Montgomery. He hits the floor. Keontae Jones picks it up, fouled in the front court. Richie McKay says, don't worry, I got you. Even though you're not one of my guys, I'll save you here.
When I talk about this arena, in 1981, I was a freshman and played here, and it was the same exact crowd. I think some of these people are still there. It's been 40 years, but so loud, every game sold out. It's just a pleasure to come into this building.
Dayton in the bonus. Personal foul on Brett Decker, his second. We'll keep an eye on that. Jones makes the first. I'm going to give you a trivia question, Tim. What arena has hosted more NCAA tournament games than any other venue?
Gosh, can I get a multiple choice? No, it's got to be Dayton, right?
It is, more than 130. They've been a fixture with that first 4 since 2011. But I think you can stump some people on that this arena has had more NCAA tournament games. 31-25, Dayton up 6. 3:15 and counting here in the first half of play.
You know, Dayton is really switching 1 through 4. Those back cuts are the best thing that they do. They spread the defense, some dummy action for half the shot clock, and then go to work.
Cleveland, wonderful pass to Matheny. He converts. Flames hanging around, down 4. They trying to take advantage of Latong in there with that advantage. Maybe one extra pass. Cleveland, great anticipation. Liberty hanging around, looking to get a little bit closer. 2:40 and counting, down 4. Cleveland looking to back down. Poor Day. And that's a good acknowledgement of Cleveland going up against a young man playing in his first college basketball game in Sean Bourdais.
Well, the offense identified the mismatch immediately. And this may sound crazy, but this is a Charles Barkley move where he catch the ball in the left box, back his way in, just watching the defense. And unless you send a double team, which they would love, talking about Liberty, that's a great recognition.
And he did that from about 25 feet out, just kept backing him in. as Cleveland misses on the first of 2 from the strike. You start to look at this Liberty team, whether it's Zach Cleveland or Brent Decker or Porter Matheny in the backcourt. You now get a better idea, at least I hope, of those watching at home, of this whole conceptual style of play as Cleveland misses on both attempts.
You know, when his mom was coaching him at Grafton Elementary, maybe they should have worked more on his free throws.
It's the one number that doesn't add up for the guy that does so much for the Flames.
Boy, his mom was a good player, right?
Standout at Illinois State, Hall of Famer, great hoops player back in the early and mid-'80s. Turnover by Dayton, Cleveland gets it, numbers there momentarily, slows it up. And they'll set things. I'm not going to say it's a play, but they're going to slow it down for the moment. There's a big disadvantage there. Porter against Letang. But Porter says, you know what? If that goes, how about that shot by Colin Porter? 5'10", up against the 7'1" Letang. Liberty within 2. You think they're a little more composed here in the last 5-10 minutes, Tim?
Well, they're in the game, and they were down 10 for the first 10 minutes, and now all of a sudden their defense has gained confidence.
And a 10-2 run has gotten them within 2. Porter tying that one up against Keontae Jones. Possession stays with the Flyers.
The day that Colin Porter stepped on the Liberty campus as a freshman, he owned the position. He's the heart and soul of this team. 112 games, 112 he started. And I think Richie McKay sleeps well at night knowing that's his point guard.
And speaking of Richie McKay, calling a timeout here with 1:38 to go in the opening half of play. Dayton hanging on to that 2-point lead. They're up 31-29. The Premier League continues live on USA. Coming up following our game here in Dayton, it's Crystal Palace looking to continue their strong start, taking on Leeds. Game time 3 p.m. Eastern right here on USA. That his Premier League Live follows our game. It's been 5 minutes, 3 seconds since Dayton last made a field goal. They've got possession, shot clock at 13, and their lead is down to just 2. Nice move by Durkat. Good help defense by Harper. It looks like it's going to be another tie-up. It is. Refs in there to keep things calm, but really good hustle by J.J. Harper, the 6'5" redshirt senior from Orlando. Possession arrow right back to Liberty.
For Liberty, Richie McKay was coming off a troubling loss, a 40-pointer to NC State. And Cleveland, Porter, Matheny combined for 8 points. They had 17 turnovers. And what it did is it helped reinvigorate how important it is that they play as a team. Remember, they're small. They start 4 guards and a forward, and they have to rely on their system rather than playing one-on-one.
Final 80 seconds here in the first half. Liberty with the ball down 2. Sandra Carter back into the game for the Flames.
Look at this matchup. Letang against Porter.
He did it once. Letang was ready the second time, forcing a traveling violation on Porter and the Flames.
Okay, this is a trip for Dayton where they need to reestablish themselves going into halftime. Letang has made some threes. He's been fairly active, but I want to see him get that back pick, go to the low post, and assert his authority.
Nearing a 6-minute scoring drought from the field. Dayton was up 29-19. Other than those 2 free throws, they've hit a bit of a dry spot. There's the play you talked about, adjusted well by Liberty. Shot clock at 10, Letang has it. In the corner to Durkat. Shot clock at 5, needs some help. Durkat with some contact, no call. Letang from the left corner. Front iron, no good. Rebounded by Javon Bennett. Second chance opportunity for the Flyers, and they could use it. Shot clock at 10, game clock at 25. Letang with the shot clock down to 2. 1 gets it off in time and makes it. Big time bucket by Amael Letang. 33-29, Dayton by 4. See what Liberty can do here in the final 5 seconds. Carter to Harper. A lot of contact, out of control. no foul call. Liberty will hang on to possession with 9/10 of a second remaining.
And this is a manly effort. Use your size, use your gifts. Look at the power dribbles, getting into that kill zone. If you get the ball in the middle of the paint, you're going to kill the defense.
9/10 of a second. Liberty to inbound, see if they can do anything with it. Harper from the corner, not to be, as the first half comes to a close here in Dayton. It has been impressive. Amael Latong, the sophomore for the Flyers, 13 points, including 2 of 3 from long range. He's taking advantage of that height, 7'1" from France, helping the Flyers to the advantage in break. Halftime continues here in Dayton. The Flyers maintaining that 4-point lead over Liberty, 33-29, as this is the 50th year of the Atlantic 10. And we can't wait to get to Pittsburgh in March, Tim, but we're now getting ready to make the jump into conference play in the coming days and early in 2026. Here are the current standings of the non-conference action. What jumps off the page to you?
Oh, George Mason, fast start. Again, Corey Mincy, the #1 scorer in the A-10. And is Tony Shin off to his 3rd straight 21 wins this year? Also, St. Louis is just tremendous. They win the free throw battle. Robbie Avila getting plenty of help. St. Bonaventure off to a good start. And what do you get the conference that has everything? 25 is silver. It's gold. So A-10 deserves a lot of respect for the start that they've had.
Bigger picture, what do coaches learn about their teams from a non-conference schedule?
Well, everybody wants to play somebody elite to test yourself, and that identifies weaknesses. And with Dayton, they've done the same thing. I think they've learned a lot from their schedule, and beating Marquette at Marquette, Georgetown, Florida State, they're really off to a good at-large kind of start.
Yeah, they're getting ready to jumpstart into the conference schedule in the wrapping up days, if you will, of this year as we wrap up presents for the holidays. Can't wait to get it rolling in 2026. We're back with second half action from Dayton right after this. A-10 basketball is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com. Getting ready for the second half of action, Dayton and Liberty. But before the second 20 minutes of play, let's take a look at some of the numbers from the first half. What stands out to you, Tim?
Well, the rebounding, I thought, would be a big advantage for Dayton. It hasn't. Really nice job by Liberty. Also, the score much lower than I would have anticipated.
Amael Latong standing out in the first half. He went for 13, and he did it in a whole lot of different ways.
At 7'1", he still plays like a small forward. Immense skill set, and the ability to spread the defense allows him to get to the rim. We all want to see more of that. That's the next part of his game.
Latong scored 10 against FSU earlier this week. He's only had more than 13 once in the last 5 games. And slowly but surely, Brett Decker started feeling it from behind the arc.
A mature and cerebral approach in the first half. The defense closing out extremely hard on him. So he started off driving, getting 3 layups. The defense adjusted to that, then he knocks down a couple threes.
Deshane Montgomery scoreless in the first half for Dayton. Co-leading scorer for the Flyers, averaging 16.5 a game. He's scored in double figures every contest so far this season. What did Anthony Grant tell his team at half?
And it's always the same from Anthony Grant. Simple to the point. Defense in the second half, we will win. His term, guard our yard.
Although, wait to guard the yard for a little bit. They open with possession here in the second half. Bennett with it up top. Nice give and go to Keontae Jones. Kicks it out in the corner to Durkak. Cut off as he looks to go in the hole. Outside to Latong, and he hits it again from long range. Where's this coming from? Latong now with 16. We just showed his career high is 18. He's on pace to pass it and blow right by it along the way.
Look at Latong is covering Matheny right now. That's 7-1 against 5'10".
We saw what Porter did, at least on one occasion, to Latong in the first half. Matheny looking to clear things out as the shot clock's at 7. Well, Latong, better angle. It's about positioning that he learned from Wemby a couple of years ago, where to be on the floor. Let's see if Montgomery can get on the ledger. Gets it down low instead to Latong. We're going to call it. He's fouled on the way up. Looks to be on J.J. Harper.
When you get a big guy that gains confidence, their production will soar. Beautiful release from D. And right here, that's his first block shot. I've counted at least 5 that he's changed.
The foul actually was on Decker, his third. Latong feeling it, unable to get that one to go. Second chance effort by Dayton doesn't fall. How about the third time? Not to be, but Keontae Jones going to head to the line to shoot 2. And that was a critical third foul on Decker earlier in the second half. But Latong, the story of this afternoon, for a good bit for the Dayton Flyers. And we talked about Wembanyama, the relationship with Victor. This was a couple of years ago. They weren't playing basketball, Tim. They were at Topgolf, and I'm thinking they need extra long clubs.
And that's Wemby. Is he holding a lob wedge? No, it's a driver, but how does that guy find clubs?
You get some good companies to help you out, but we caught up with Latong before the game, and he said they text periodically. It's maybe been a month or two since he last got connected with Victor, but what a relationship that could be for him moving forward.
Well, they have the same agency, and they've spent time together. And for someone like Latong to have a role model, I know that they're similar ages, but it expands your vision on what you can become. And look, I'm not saying Latong is an NBA prospect, but they do know who he is, and they're watching closely to see if he can develop that complete skill set.
Lead is 7 for Dayton. There's Porter against Latong. Nice cut by Cleveland, who finishes with authority.
If Montgomery can get going, this game will take a sudden turn. Remember, he's their top scorer along with Bennett at 16 per game. So far, nothing.
0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 2 from the line. Cleveland, great anticipation and a really good look to Porter. Uses the left hand to finish off the glass. A quick little mini burst here by the Flames.
Surprisingly, those are the first transition points for the entire game for Liberty.
Skip past Montgomery, there it is. Not to be. Had a sense that wide open look might break the seal for him. Cleveland with the rebound. Liberty with the ball, down 6 and looking to get a little closer. That's a missed defensive assignment, and J.J. Harper makes him pay. No one within 10 feet of him, Tim.
Really nice response by Liberty.
And it is a quick 6-0 run as the score officially getting updated. Liberty within 2. It's 37-35. Misspoke there. Flyers lead down to 2. Durkak, three-pointer off the mark. Harper with the rebound. Gets to Matheny. A chance for Liberty to tie or take the lead. Great pass down low by Cleveland. Triple team for the moment. Somehow gets it up to Decker. Thought about the 3. Back to Cleveland. Matheny fakes the 3. Decker won't. Launches. Connects. Brent Decker Jr. gives Liberty the lead. The first of the game for the Flames. A 9-0 run over the last 138 has put Liberty on top. How will Dayton respond to this game of bursts?
Well, they're settling for perimeter shots. Their advantage is to go inside.
As they tried to do there to Latong, who was fouled by Cleveland.
All right, enjoy this. This is the best trip all game long for Liberty. Everybody gets a chance to touch the ball. That's a pass that's passed up. Kicking it out. And there's the last portion. What a beautiful sequence offensively.
Decker now with 15. Matheny has 10. Liberty up by 1. Dayton with the ball 4 minutes into the second half. Shot clock was winding down. Bennett launches from long range, and again, to your point, Tim, settling for long perimeter shots. Matheny up and in, gets it to go, and is fouled. What a move by Caden Matheny, the redshirt senior from Morgantown, West Virginia. An exclamation point on this 11-0 run by Liberty. They're on top and looking for more here in Dayton, Ohio. Don't miss your favorite WWE superstars square off in the ring on Friday night. SmackDown, it's live Fridays at 8, only on USA Network. A quick start out of the gates for the Liberty Flames here in the second half, an 11-0 run. Tim, it's given them a 3-point lead where Dayton seemingly coming out flat out of the locker room.
And I see it all the time right before the getaway game for Christmas. Finals are over. Everybody's going to be going home to see their family. 0 fast break points for Dayton in this game.
The foul was on Deshane Montgomery. Matheny missing that free throw. Sean Portet back into the game for Dayton, as is Jay and Simon. Some fresh faces trying to kickstart this Dayton squad here in the second half. Bennett strong off the glass, no good. Last touch by Xander Carter, the 6'6" freshman from Greenup, Kentucky for Liberty.
Do you think it's worth mentioning that Dayton has won 33 straight non-conference games in this building? That is seriously in jeopardy.
And they're well aware of that. So too are the fans here in this sellout crowd. An errant pass picked off by Cleveland. Lays it up, gets it to go. No contact, but the lead is now 5, 42-37. Deontay Jones loses it. Picked up by Liberty. And things have changed dramatically here in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Liberty in command and playing with a lot of confidence. Matheny with the ball up top, shot clock at 15.
Also energy. A lack of energy will show up the most on the defensive end. Dayton is getting outworked in this second half.
Cleveland's pass. He's trying to sell to the official that it was deflected, but it will go out of bounds. Possession over to the Dayton Flyers. But Zach Cleveland, he does all the things that you want by a senior leader.
And that pass was telegraphed. Everybody knew where they were throwing it. What an acrobatic finish by Cleveland. Now, who's going to step up? And once again, number 2 in white, Montgomery, has been incredibly quiet. He's their top scorer. No buckets.
And there's the first bucket of the Dayton Flyer career for Sean Portet. Maybe he'll spark a little offensive movement for the Dayton Flyers. The freshman from Belgium playing in his very first game. Now we're starting to see a little more defensive pressure, energy from the Dayton squad. Montgomery all over Porter, hands it off to Smith, back to Porter. And now back to Smith down low in the blocks. Extra pass to Matheny, lays it up and in. What a wonderful cut by Caden, and a great finish there yet again. Leads now 5, 44-39, Liberty with 13:40 to go in the second half of play. Oh, that is a shot the Flyers needed, and it comes courtesy of Jacob Connor, the senior from right here in Dayton.
Connor and Portet with massively important buckets to help step this defense up. Remember, you set your defense, it gives you a real advantage.
Little help coming off the bench for head coach Anthony Grant, and the crowd getting into it on their feet. Porter, long range 3 off the mark, and taken by the Dayton Flyers. Bryce Hurd slows it down momentarily, and Dayton seemingly getting a bit more in sync. Portet cut off, kicks it out to Montgomery. They're going to say last touch by Liberty. We'll keep it right here.
I've got a stat for you that I think tells a real story. Plus 14-point advantage, points in the paint for Liberty. Wow.
A team that relies usually on their perimeter shooting.
Montgomery has got to be the man. He's got to get aggressive and try to get something to the basket. He's been really quiet.
Bird too strong there. Put back doesn't go by Simon. Liberty looking to run. Decker cut off by Bennett, hands it off to Porter. Cleveland pass knocked out of bounds by Jay and Simon. Will keep it here. Liberty with possession. Shot clock at 16 as they hang on to that 2-point lead.
There are 365 teams in college. Liberty is number 363. They're one of the smallest, but size is not an advantage when you're playing an up-tempo game.
Decker drives off the mark with that short one, rebounded by Simon. Had a man momentarily, and Bryce Hurd didn't see him. Montgomery loses it again. Another turnover by DeShane. Nice move by Zach Cleveland, and the extra pass to Josh Smith, who finishes with authority. Now we know why he's third in the country at 8 assists a game.
Well, there's two things that this Liberty team does exceptionally well. They are elite cutting and passing the ball, and that's what we're seeing in the second half comeback.
Liberty by 4. Bennett loses it momentarily, gathers it up, but what a block on the defensive end by Zach Cleveland. He's doing everything right now for head coach Richie McKay.
Yeah, look at the spacing of this Flames offense.
Good cut by Porter. No one was there. Had the open look, waited for it, and put up a bad one in terms of a result. 11 minutes to go. Dayton down 4 with the ball. Bennett trying to back down on Porter. A couple of guys that played against one another in AAU. A matchup you talked about on the top of this broadcast to keep an eye on. Bennett converts. Liberty's lead cut in half. And a little extra effort by Bennett, forcing it. A turnover in the backcourt. They're going to say last touch by Porter as the folks at UD Arena trying to get the Flyers moving. They're down 2 in the second half at home. We're back in Dayton. Liberty holding on to a 2-point lead over the Flyers, but a big part of the Flames' second half charge, courtesy of Zach Cleveland, the senior stand-up. Came into the game averaging 8 assists a game, good for 3rd in the country. That's one of the 5 he's had so far today, and he's making Mom, Marla Maupin Cleveland, really proud. And why wouldn't you make Mom proud? But especially when Mom was a really good basketball player at Illinois State in the early to mid-'80s, in their Hall of Fame, and maybe most importantly, one of his first coaches, Tim.
At Grafton Elementary School, Marla was the coach, and she made Zach a point guard to develop his ball handling skills. He ran the team, and she always encouraged him to be a point forward. Now, he's just typically a triple-double threat every game he plays. 9
points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals so far today for Zach Cleveland. Montgomery, pass intercepted and stolen by Xander Carter. Handful of miscues by Montgomery here today. Forget the fact he hasn't scored.
I don't understand how passive he's been. He's been standing in corners. His defense has not been what we've seen. His energy level, subpar.
Shot clock at 10. Porter against Letang, cut off, picks up the dribble, gets it down low to Smith. Nice use of the glass in the left hand. And Josh Smith finishes, giving the Liberty Flames that 4-point lead once again, halfway through the second half of action here in Dayton.
Javon Bennett's got to be the guy. I think of all the great point guards in Dayton history. Jalen Crutcher, Malachi Smith.
Bennett from long range, back iron too strong, and he embraces that leadership role.
Did I mention Scoochie Smith?
You can say Scoochie Smith all day long. Feeney thought about it. Nice give and go to Cleveland up top. Porter, long range three. What ball movement by the Flames, giving them that wide open look. The lead now 7.
That trip was a Picasso on the offensive end.
Anthony Grant has seen enough. The Dayton head coach calling a timeout, trying to regroup his squad here in front of the home fans. 51-44, Liberty up by 7, 9:20 to go here in the second half of play, and the conceptual offense of Liberty. Beautiful basketball, high screen and roll. Remember, no sets, all concept. And look at the bench for Liberty. They're having fun. They're all standing. I didn't see that in last time out from Dayton. 71% shooting in the second half by the Flames. Since the 6:41 mark, when Dayton had a 10-point lead, Liberty has outscored them 32-15. Critical stretch here. Let's see what the Flyers do coming out of that timeout. I'm going to say it again. Liberty is so small, they have no shot blocking. Going inside is a fantastic idea. Jumper goes by Bryce Hurd. Pressure on for the Flyers. They're down by 5. At least for the moment, they drop back. And the challenge for Dayton, yeah, they like to force turnovers, but this Liberty team does not turn it over. Top 10 in the nation. Oh, they did there, and the finish by Keontae Jones slams it home. Anthony Grant has called his team a work in progress, that they can continue to move the needle. Will they be able to move it in this final 8:20 to keep that home winning streak continuing? Crowd on their feet. Cleveland off the glass doesn't go. Potential numbers as Jones goes the length of the floor. 3-ball corner pocket, in and out. That would have got this place going, but a foul as Hurd's shot didn't go. Jones hit the ground hard. And give a ton of credit to Connor for keeping the ball alive. Here's Jones. You may remember at Marquette down the stretch, he made huge defensive plays to help them win an overtime thriller. You know why he's out there? Two-way player. Really good on the defensive end. That's what this team needs right now. Stops and then good shots. That finish by Jones where he slammed it home, the first fast break points this afternoon for Dayton. Latong trying to use that height advantage. Really good defense by J.J. Harper. Thought that could have been a foul. Harper lays it up, and he was fouled and will head to the line for 2. A little bit of ignition being lit here by the Flyers, down 3, looking for more here in Ohio. Back in Dayton, Liberty, a 3-point lead over the Flyers, 51-48. The back and forth battle continues, Tim. Tactical error by Amiel Latong. He jumps horizontally rather than vertically. What he needs to do, dribble, you're in the paint, explode up to your strong hand. Remember last year, Zed Key played that power role. Latong played against him every day in practice. Zed Key would say, 2 dribbles, jump hook, be strong, not finesse. J.J. Harper to the line, converts on the first, 90% free throw shooter on the season is the redshirt senior from Orlando. On that last play where Latong had his shot blocked, J.J. Harper is 6'5". That is a huge difference in size. You're 7'1", you've got to be able to go over the top. He makes both. Liberty 3 of 7 from the stripe, one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country at just over 60%. The lead is 5, 53-48. Dayton with possession. Latong from 3, and he gets it to go. His 4th of the day. And Latong now with a career high. He's got 19 and he's feeling it.
All right, here's the advice. Forget the post game, just knock down threes.
53-51, Liberty by 2.
This feels like a really important trip for Liberty. Keeping that lead is essential from a confidence standpoint.
Decker guarded by Latong, looking to get a screen from Matheny. He does, at least for the moment. Shot clock at 5. 14-inch height differential. Latong makes him pay and lets him know. Quickly into the front court. Keontae Jones cut off again by J.J. Harper. Latong again. That would have been his 5th three-pointer of the game for the 7-foot sophomore from France. He's doing it on both ends, is Amiel Latong. Matheny with it, shot clock at 15, Liberty by 2, 6:20 and counting. Down low to Cleveland. In the corner, Porter, got it. Quick timeout on the floor, the lead now 5. Once again for Liberty. They're looking to end a big winning streak here at home in Dayton. (56-51), Liberty with a 5-point lead over the Dayton Flyers, and one of the best shooting teams in the country, especially from long range. They pick their moments and they've got so many weapons.
And Colin Porter is just a really interesting story. Growing up in Kentucky, they had a low basket only 8 foot high in the backyard. And every day, all day, Colin, his brother, his cousin, and his neighbor would play 2-on-2 all day. He was 5 years younger than his brother, and as typically happens, the little brother gets beat up and develops toughness. That's one of the toughest dudes in all of college basketball.
You learn a lot when the big boys let you know how to play this game at a very young age. Dayton down 5 with the ball as we near the 6-minute mark here in the second half of play. Porter on Bennett up top. Bennett from 3, got it. Javon Bennett, big time.
What's at stake? Dayton, sellout crowd. No seats available. Bringing the heat on defense. They've won 33 straight non-conference home games. That streak is in serious jeopardy. That was the streak we were referring to. A whistle away from the ball. Looks like Javon Bennett going to get called for a hold. And it's the 85th consecutive sellout here at UD Arena. And Bennett, one of your leaders, if you're going to make a charge, you want to throw it on his shoulders. At halftime against Florida State, 2 points. Second half, game on the line, 25.
Long-range shot by Decker doesn't go. Dayton with the rebound into the front court. Jones has it. Bennett looking to go against Porter. Drives, a lot of contact, and they're going to call a foul on the way up. Looks to be on J.J. Harper. Steve, remember when we talked to Javon Bennett early in the week? He told us he likes to study NBA point guards. From Trae Young, he learned how to create space off the dribble. We saw it right there. His other idol, Damian Lillard, a smaller point guard, can get his shot off in traffic. I'd love to watch young players study the habits of pros and try to implement them into their game. Bennett converts on the first of 2, 91.5% from the line this year, went 12 of 12 the other day against Florida State when Dayton went 40 for 47. A 5-0 run courtesy of Bennett. This place is rocking as it's tied up once again at 56. Shot clock to 10. Matheny, top of the key, off the mark, rebounded by Latong. Chance for the Flyers to take the lead. It's been a while since they've had it, Tim. Connor Connor down low in the blocks to Latong going up against Cleveland. Turn around, the right-hand jumper doesn't go. Cleveland with another rebound.
I like that move. And when you watch the offense for Liberty, when they need a bucket, the ball is in Cleveland's hands.
As it is right now, working his way on the blocks and lays it up and in over Keontae Jones. Fun to watch this young man play basketball. Just using his body to his advantage. 58-56, Liberty by 2, 4:10 and counting. Shot clock at 10. Bennett still has it, launches it. In and out, thought about it. Matheny comes down with the rebound. So with the basket by Cleveland a moment ago, 4th double-double of the season, 5th in his career. And he's got the ball, 3:42 and counting. Liberty with the 2-point lead. Harper against Latong, up and under, cut off, stays with it, doesn't get it to go. Keontae Jones with the rebound, hands it off to Latong. Cleveland tried to draw a charge at half court, no whistle there. And a lot of contact by Porter, trying to strip it from Bryce Hurd. They're going to get Porter on a foul. We thought we'd have a good one on tap. That's exactly what they've delivered. Liberty by 2, 3:22 remaining. Busy afternoon of sports continues on USA. The Premier League follows us. Crystal Palace and Leeds, they're arriving. All that action coming your way 3 p.m. Eastern on USA Network. Oh, it's getting to be that time of the game, Tim, when things are close. 58-56. It is clutch time. Our good friends at CBB Analytics really delve into the numbers of trends and things to keep an eye on when things are so nip and tuck back and forth.
I've been watching Javon Bennett for his entire career. When clutch time comes, I want him with the ball. Also defensively for Dayton, I would love to see cross switches where they keep Latong near the basket, covering Cleveland.
The numbers say in this time, clutch time, 3-pointers, pretty good for Dayton. 50% and over 80% from the line. They're down to 3:22 to go. And the fact that we haven't seen Deshane Montgomery in quite some time. He hasn't scored. Maybe it's just one of those off nights. Let's see what Bennett and the rest of the crew can do.
A big lineup here for Dayton that could give them an opportunity on the offensive glass.
Bennett looks to drive, and Porter going to pick up another foul. Had one before the break, going to get one here as well, and that's not the guy you want to send to the line. And Javon Bennett, over 90% on the year.
Well, preseason, all A-10. He was on the all-defensive team preseason, and he has taken ownership. He's seen some really good players come through here, and he really plays like this is his team.
First goes. That was the 3rd foul on Colin Porter. Clutch time, free throw performances. Javon Bennett, as we said, the guy you want to see. He steps up, delivers, makes them both. It's tied at 58, and it's getting a little bit louder in this arena.
I love the idea of full court pressure.
Matheny coming off the screen, thought about it momentarily. Decker, that's the one spot, the left corner, where the numbers aren't as impressive as they are everywhere else, but you'll take that kind of shot if you are Liberty. Chance for the Flyers to take the lead. Jones has it right wing, shot clock at 13, down low in the blocks to Latong. Bodied up by Cleveland, great cut by Jones, who's fouled and gets it to go.
Latong is the player of the game for Dayton. Straight up and down, help comes, great cut to the basket by Keontae Jones. And this feels like the big moment of the game for Liberty. They have played exemplary at both ends of the court. But all of a sudden now, we're under 2.5, and they are down in a hostile environment by 3 points. And big possession.
And Porter picked up his 4th personal foul. This place continues to get louder and louder. Let's see if Liberty has an answer. Matheny to Porter for 3. Got it! We found out if they had the answer quickly. 2 minutes to go, tied at 61.
Dayton has won 33 straight non-conference home games. That streak in jeopardy.
Matheny switches to Bennett. Shot clock at 10. Bennett launches well off the mark. Rebounded. And it comes down to Liberty and Porter. Quickly into the front court is Decker. 137 and counting. Tie ball game.
Don't be surprised by this score. Liberty was Conference USA champs last year and played in the NCAA. They are the CUSA preseason favorites.
Matheny, long range, back iron, too strong. Cleveland tries to keep it alive. Dayton pulls it down with 1:12 and counting. And a timeout called by Dayton and head coach Anthony Grant. What did we say at the beginning? Maybe 81 might be the magic number. Both teams averaging 81. Well, I don't think we're going to get there. Possibly. Maybe some bonus basketball coming our way. But there are multiple guys on both teams really stepping up.
Porter has played 112 straight games as the starting point guard. Coming off a bad hamstring. Early, I thought he was limited. As it happens sometimes with hamstrings, the more you play, the more it gets lubricated and you feel better.
Porter with 13. 70 seconds to go in regulation. What are you expecting to see with Dayton? 1:10 to go, 23 on the shot clock.
Anthony Grant has always been an NBA guy. He has a lot of NBA concepts in his offense. The best thing they do is pick and roll with Bennett and Latong. I would expect a high screen and roll. Latong has to separate from the defense. Too often, he jogs back to the paint rather than sprinting. I think that will give an opportunity to either Bennett or Latong.
Bennett with it up top, guarded by J.J. Harper. It's the return pass from Jones. Final minute of play, tied up. Latong launches another one. Been feeling it all day. Front iron there, no good. Rebounded by Cleveland. Same question for you here. What are you expecting from Liberty? Could be their last full possession of the game.
The ball's got to be in Cleveland's hands.
A lot of contact. Latong with the foul. Cleveland would go to the line. He saw an opening and he went.
But here's the problem. Cleveland is a fantastic open court distributor, but he is a horrific free throw shooter, right around 60%. Good rim protection by Latong.
Well, 1 of 4 today, and you're generous. High 30s in the percentages, but big time there. They shoot 60% as a team, does Liberty. That is a big one, a clutch make. See if he can convert the second to extend the lead to 2. 1 of 2, 62-61. Liberty by a point. Dayton with the ball. Game clock at 38, shot clock at 24. About a 14-second difference. Bennett looking to drive, pull-up jumper, in and out, doesn't go. Cleveland with the rebound. Bodies tangled up. Harper went down hard. So did Latong. And I believe it was a whistle because there were bodies on the floor from safety. Latong's not happy, imploring with the refs. He didn't end up there by accident.
That was the shot that Anthony Grant wanted. 28 seconds to go. They're going to have to press, trap, be aggressive, and force a turnover. And don't be surprised if that's what happens, because Dayton plays this junkyard dog style of defense, top 10 in college basketball in forcing turnovers.
28.6 on the game clock, 28 on the shot clock, so virtually the same. You talk about the pressure defense. If Dayton doesn't force a turnover, at what point do you foul?
I think you foul the second Cleveland gets the ball in his hands. He's a bad free throw shooter, and you would want to put him on the line. He just missed his last free throw.
2 of 6 from the stripe. Liberty as a team, 4 of 9 from the line. And a little note to kind of reference here, Dayton needs to foul 3 times to get Liberty into the bonus. They've only committed 4 team fouls 19 and a half minutes into the second half. So now you start thinking, do you have to just start fouling if you don't steal that first pass?
Yeah, that's a good point. And the key thing is you can go for a steal, be extra aggressive, because if they call a foul, that's not a bad outcome. Worth noting again, Dayton has won 33 straight home games in the non-conference. They're losing with 28 seconds to go.
Anthony Grant told us yesterday it is a game of runs. You learn a lot about your team when the runs are going against you. We've had multiple for both sides. Now it's kind of roll up your sleeves, forget about a run. What are you made of? How do you find a way to win a game that your opponent has been up to the challenge every step of the way?
Every Dayton player knows about the record. Every single fan in this building knows about the record. I wonder if it takes them away from their focus. Time for a trap. If you don't get it, you better foul.
Porter in the corner, double team momentarily. Matheny had it. They're going to call the foul before the ball popped out from behind. But as we discussed, Dayton needs to kind of have that same MO the next 2 times Liberty has it, right? Try to force the steal. If not, the foul's a great backup.
2 more fouls to the bonus.
And the shot clock is off. You can never know the game clock matching up with it. But we're off. It's strictly 23.9 remaining. Excuse me, with that shot clock, there was about a half-second differential. So something to keep an eye on. Bennett picked up his 4th foul. Decker into the front court. Cleveland has it. We're down to 15. They still haven't fouled. And there it finally is. Deshane Montgomery on Brett Decker Jr. Also something to keep in mind, Javon Bennett now with 4 fouls as well.
One of the subtleties that I love about Liberty and Richie McKay, they are the best team I've seen all year at delivering a bounce pass. Dayton is playing passing lanes. All these passes are down where the defense can't get it.
13.8 remaining, Liberty by 1. Harper to inbound, far side. And they're going to call a timeout, getting close to that 5-second mark. Try to come up with something schematically.
Yeah, I was surprised. The referee gave the ball to Liberty. The players weren't ready to make their cut. They almost had a 5-second violation.
Dayton 1 foul away from sending Liberty in the bonus. Again, game clock off, or shot clock off rather, 13.8 remaining on the game clock. Same premise, try to force a turnover in the first 2-3 seconds. If not, put somebody on the line, preferably Cleveland.
Yeah, I would overplay everybody except Cleveland. He will want the ball, but I would want him on the line if I was Dayton. Kind of interesting. Dayton turns people over, top 10 in the country, against Liberty, who doesn't turn it over, top 10 in the country in lowest turnovers per game.
Zach Cleveland not in the game on the bench for Liberty. Coach Richie McKay, well aware of his struggles at the foul line. Xander Carter in for him.
I would love to see Porter with the ball.
Well, that's a tough pass, but Matheny lays it up and in. Liberty by 3. So much action there. I think Matheny was caught off guard that he could lay it up and in.
Matheny got caught off guard. Kind of an interesting scenario. Would he have been better off dribbling to the corner. Now all of a sudden, a three-pointer by Dayton can tie it up. He could have easily dribbled out towards half court. There was nobody near him.
A 6-0 run for the Flames over the last 156. They're good for a three-point lead. And I thought about that momentarily as well, but then you get fouled, we'll say 7 or 8 seconds, and if you miss it, you still lose on the three. You say, why didn't I take the bunny?
Referees checking the timing.
It did appear that the clock was about a half step slow in starting, so maybe a little bit less than the 12.4 remaining.
Down 3. Javon Bennett is your best option. However, a career day for Latong, and he is really confident with his threes. Also, in closeout situations, a 7-1 guy has a higher release point. It will be harder for Liberty to cover.
If you're Dayton, do you go try to get a quick 2 and then foul, force a turnover with 12.4 seconds remaining?
Yeah, I like the idea of drive and kick for a quick hitter, then crash the offensive boards.
64-61, Liberty by 3, 12.4 seconds remaining. Jacob Connor going to inbound it for Dayton. Bennett with it, across the half-court line, clock at 8. Gets the high screen from Latong, down to 6. Connor, left side, launches the 3, in and out, no good. Loose ball, Bennett, and that's going to do it. The streak comes to an end. Liberty, 64, Dayton, 61.
Don't be surprised. This Liberty team played in the NCAA tournament last year. They are built for success. They're one of the smallest teams in college basketball, but they are so hard to cover because of their ball handling and the way they share it.
How surprised are you that it was Jacob Connor taking the 3?
Well, I thought Latong would have been a better option. They didn't get the shot that they wanted by far. Notice good defense, straight up and down, no contest. That ball almost went in. Bennett keeps it alive, but just didn't get the chance to get the shot off.
Not enough time for Dayton to get it gathered and launch another 3. First time they've lost at home this season, and they snap a 33-game home winning streak against non-conference opponents. Quick final thought on this good one we had today.
Manly effort by Liberty at both ends of the court. High skill on offense, a great cutting team, and I love their defensive intensity, holding Dayton to 61 points.
64-61, your final. Liberty getting the job done on the road and shocking this home crowd at UD Arena. They're going to have something to think about over the holidays heading into 2026. We're just getting things going, excited for the new year as USA's coverage of the Atlantic 10 continues after the holiday with a triple header of games that all begins at noon Eastern. Comes your way Saturday, January 3rd. We're going to run the table all the way to the A-10 tournament in March. Coming up next, Premier League Live, leading into game coverage of Crystal Palace taking on Leeds. We had a great one here in Dayton. Liberty, a 3-point win from my partner, Tim McCormick. I'm Steve Burkowski, thanking you for watching and wishing you happy holidays from Dayton, Ohio.